What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today, BCH USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon, of course. Here we are on this, the 6th day of September, sitting at about $594 with 8 hours and 15 minutes left in the day. We had quite the robust day yesterday, and we did get a second day to close above $600. However, that's not the requirement, right? Someone was asking me, they're like, it closes above $600 again. Does that mean that we're going to the moon? It could mean that, but what we need is 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row specifically, right? The fact that we closed above it yesterday and we had a pretty bullish engulfing candle, that is pretty bullish in itself. But I think today's kind of a testament of the lack of continuation there, right? However, that ribbon, that daily ribbon, again, if we're looking at this here on the EMA ribbon, this daily ribbon, again, is pretty compelling evidence. If it loads, doesn't it want to... Did I click on it? I clicked on it, right? Yeah, it's just not loading yet. That's weird. We can still move it around. Anyways, once it pulls up, you'll see, the contraction of the ribbon to the expansion that we're having now. This is pretty compelling evidence that we are going to continue moving up higher. Perhaps we do move down a little bit. We're at $594 now. Perhaps we move down a little bit, down to like 572 or something like that. But nothing too dramatic, right? Nothing too dramatic at all. I wouldn't be surprised if we bounced from that area and then came back up to new all-time highs, right? In other words, what I'm trying to say here is I believe Bitcoin Cash has found its low. I do believe Bitcoin Cash, the low is in at that 520 area. I don't think that we go lower than that, okay? Which is very nice to see. The way this ribbon looks to me, it's too compelling to think otherwise. If we were to go below, if we were to go somewhere below the ribbon, not just below the ribbon, but below this low here, it would be such a short-lived experience. We'd have to see some kind of rapid crash down and then a rapid move back up. So even if that does happen, it's kind of insignificant, right? It'd be like getting excited for this pump, right? That was insignificant. You didn't see higher prices than that for months afterwards, right? So I wouldn't get too excited for any kind of flash crash down. It might be sad while it happens, but again, we're probably going to come right back up immediately. It'd be like this, right? At the moment, you're panicking down here. Inevitably, we did go back down there and even lower, but that's not a good example of what I'm trying to talk about. Just the short term bouncing back up like that. Anyways, this is back in the tariff days, right? And Bitcoin Cash actually held up pretty well in the tariff days compared to a lot of cryptos. But right now, it's holding up well as well. I think that we are going to continue to move higher. I just don't think that we're ready to do it yet. I think once we get 2 days in a row, and if today closes above $600, then yes, we're ready. But once we get 2 days in a row to close above 600, that's whenever will take effect. Or just one day, one simple day to close above about $620, that'll do it as well. It's a little bit of a difference, but difference. It's a significant enough difference in itself. Until then, I think we come back down probably to about 570. Right around there, right to the base of this ribbon, right? We typically do like to find support right at the, I say the base, the top of this ribbon. If not right at the yellow line, maybe just a little bit lower. So 570, 565 at the worst, right? We're probably not going to go down too much. Find support down there and then move up. Easy peasy, right? Not a big deal. We look at the 3-day time frame here. Pretty bullish on this as well. Bouncing off of that. Every time, in fact, that we've come down to this area since April 7th here, we've seen a nice reaction. So, and we got a nice one here as well. So maybe we come down there, or if this takes another 9 days to accomplish, we've got 3 more candles to go. So 9 days, right? 3 days from now there'd be another candle. 6 days, another candle. 9 days would be that week of the 16th, the 17th, right there, the FOMC meeting. This yellow line will continue to grow throughout that time, so perhaps we come down there. That's at about 565. So 565 to 575, looking like an interesting prospect there for support. We'll look at the short-term stuff to see if we can make sense out of that. Also looking at the weekly ribbon here, right? If this is going to happen maybe next week or the week after, we get another week to close here or one more week after that, that'd put this ribbon up a little bit more. I mean, I don't know if it would get us. I don't think the ribbon would approach these levels that we're talking about, but maybe there's sense to be made then if the weekly ribbon comes up a little bit over the next couple of weeks. Maybe there's sense to be made then that we do go back to 520 or even just below there for a double bottom, but I don't see that happening. We don't need to touch the ribbon in order to find support. We didn't touch it here, and we saw an immaculate move, right? We didn't touch it there, and we saw an absolutely immaculate move. It'd be nice to touch it, but whatever. I don't think we're going to. So overall, though, the weekly ribbon looks very, very nice. Very, very nice. You've been crossed to the upside for quite a long time. You've been trying to get this expansion to grow. I think we're in that moment where it's the real deal. We're outside of our long-term consolidation phase, both from last year and from your overall cycle consolidation, right? This overall lower high thing that you've got going on. We're broken out of that, and we're probably going to see some immaculate growth here in a very short amount of time. I think that's what the weekly ribbon's telling us. We look at the monthly time frame as well, and this fresh cross, man, I can't tell you guys how excited I am. Like, genuinely, it's this in itself, and they say don't count your chickens before they hatch, but man, we're counting right now because this is different. You don't see this. I was talking to my wife about this, actually. I was like, these monthly ribbons do not cross like this, right? You tend to persist, right? Sometimes, like stocks, it's a little bit more common, but with cryptos, you're either bullish or as soon as you cross bearish, you're bearish. You don't see too many of them. I really can't think of too many examples or any other examples really than Bitcoin Cash. I know there are. I'm drawing a blank right now, but I know there are some that have flipped their ribbons from bearish to bullish. But there's nothing I think that's had a multi-cycle bearish trend in its EMA ribbon that's ended up flipping it bullish in its third cycle. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. I think that's a first there. Like this is incredibly difficult. So understand, with this tremendous amount of difficulty it's taken, and look at how much we fought for this, right? It's been a year and a half. We fought for this valiantly. Absolutely we did. Every time we got below the ribbon, it was short-lived. We really we held the line. We did everything we needed to do. We went through what looked to be a rejection. We went through what looked to be a false cross. We came out on top nonetheless. This is incredibly difficult to acquire. And with that amount of difficulty, I can't imagine we're going to get some kind of pathetic move. We're going to get a move that's absurdly difficult to acquire, okay? It's going to be godlike, man. When they say God candle, they're going to refer to Bitcoin Cash this cycle, right? When I say they, I mean the average person involved in crypto. This thing at 593, again, I like to paint it like this, right? If this is a picture, I'm going to paint it. Let me paint it for you. Here, even though it's broken out of its highs, it hasn't really moved, or it's broken out of this like lower high trend. It hasn't really moved. People are, maybe they're aware of Bitcoin Cash, maybe they're not, but that's the whole point, right? They're not aware to a certain degree. They're not excited about it. They don't have the vision. It's like, okay, well, it's a hard fork of Bitcoin, but it's not really relevant. It's completely relevant. It's remained in the top 20 for most of its life, if not its whole life. Maybe moments where it got kicked out here or there, but it's remained in the top 20 basically its whole life. Whenever we move up, whenever we move up to this high, especially whenever we take out that high, you're going to have analysts all over YouTube. You're going to have analysts all over X.com. You're going to have people who don't even analyze this stuff. They're just looking for the pumps and they're pump chasers. They're all going to be talking about this, that Bitcoin Cash has now seen higher highs versus its cycle. Then they're going to compare the Bitcoin chart, the BCH to BTC chart, and see that it's starting to outperform Bitcoin this cycle. We're going to be outperforming Bitcoin from start to the point that we're up here. From the start to that point, we will have outperformed Bitcoin this whole bull cycle. It would have been a better investment to buy Bitcoin Cash. You're going to be breaking out this multi-phase consolidation. People will look at it after the fact. What I'm trying to offer here, and I'm doing a poor job of explaining it, I'm going into the long version. What I'm trying to say in short is the perspective is going to shift. From here, it's, okay, cool, but who cares? And up here, it's going to be like, oh my goodness, it broke out to new all-time highs. This thing might go higher. What if this is a time machine for Bitcoin? It really is the better Bitcoin. It's faster, it's cheaper, it's decentralized, it's got the same tokenomics, right? And it's literally just better. It's literally better in so many aspects. So like almost all of them, it's better. Genuinely. Maybe in terms of decentralization, it's not, but at the same time, Bitcoin's very centralized too, right? Like, freaking 2% of it's owned by MicroStrategy, a corporation in the United States. Most of it's owned by United States agencies and institutions, right, and the government. So I mean, it's pretty centralized in itself, right? As far as mining goes, I think it is more decentralized, but whatever. That's one thing, and Bitcoin Cash is still decentralized, and it is what's the word I'm looking for? Popular enough. It's got enough hash power where it is secure as well. People are going. The perspective is going to shift. I'm getting off. I'm trying to get to the main point. The perspective is going to shift from, it was a failed hard fork. Well, whatever. It's nothing that I care about. To, oh my God, Bitcoin Cash broke out of this. It's worth $2,000. It's kind of like going back in time and buying Bitcoin at $2,000. You're going to hear a lot of people say that. That rhetoric is going to come out, and it's not going to be from the Bitcoin Cash community. It's not going to be just from people like me. It's not going to be from people that are just like the Bitcoin Cash podcast or who's I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Crypto something. What is his name? I don't remember. I don't remember his name. I would give him a shout out right now, but I can't remember his name. Anyways, I'll think of it and I'll give him a shout out in another video. But it won't be people that are like prominent figures in the Bitcoin Cash community that are just saying this. It'll be people who are prominent figures in the crypto community who are saying this stuff, right? Perspective shift. Here, who cares? Like XRP. When XRP was down here, let's see. Get it on a weekly time frame. And I'm not comparing XRP to Bitcoin Cash. They're different projects. But sorry. But there was a perspective shift, and that's what I want to address. From down here, XRP had a one-off. That was a pump, but it's going to dump. We got a flat base, it's going to dump. I said the same thing. Like when we're up here, everyone's too hesitant to say it now. But once we get up here, all that people are going to talk about is new all-time highs. That's it. And that's exactly what happened. Perspective shift. Down here, it's a failed project. It didn't get higher highs cycle after cycle. It's a failed project. Who cares? Now, everybody's a genius who talks about XRP going to new all-time highs, right? It's a perspective shift. And we're going to get that same kind of perspective shift once we take over this high here. And I think we're going to do that very, very soon. Anyways, let's get to the short and skinny, and then we'll wrap this video up, okay? Looking at the, nope, not that. My bad. Clicked on the wrong indicator. Come on. Okay. Looking at the monthly time frame here, very, very bullish on the monthly RSI, bouncing off the 50 area twice, might I add. We're getting stronger readings here. You're looking like you want to get overbought. You guys remember what happened last time we got overbought? Let me tell you, that monthly time frame, we moved up 127% in a month. Do you remember the time before that we got overbought? Let me tell you. I'll tell you what happened. We moved up, actually, because we got overbought, not this month, it was the following month. We moved up 84% in a month. And really overall, from the open of that month to the high of the next month, which was probably less than 2 months' time, that was a 200% move. So, just in perspective, in that same kind of perspective, 120% to 200%, we're not even overbought yet, right? That would basically put us right at our high. Right? We keep going. Once we get overbought, that's whenever that happens. So we'll be at higher prices. We'll basically be right at that high, right in the areas that we're expecting. And again, I wouldn't be surprised in the least if this move was more powerful than any move we've seen in Bitcoin Cash's history. We might not get a month that moves like this, right, or a month that moves like this back to back, but overall, this move, what's coming between now and the end of the year, will be bigger, I think, than what this move was. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Let me say it again. I wouldn't freaking be surprised in the very least at all if Bitcoin Cash was at new all-time highs by the end of this year, right? By the end of this cycle, is that what you thought I was going to say? Absolutely, it's going to be at new all-time highs by the end of the cycle. But by the end of the year, the cycle ends sometime in 2026. I'm thinking Q2, if not very early Q3, but probably late Q2, okay? Mid to late Q2. We're going to be well above all-time highs by the end of the cycle. But guys, by the end of this year, Bitcoin Cash could be worth not just $1,000, not just $2,000, but be worth like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. We're going to be pushing $10,000 to $20,000 by the end of the cycle, if not even breaking that $20,000 threshold. That target is absolutely possible. We might have had it right all along that we're going to $20,000, and we wrote that off, right? We wrote that off, finally had to wave the bearish flag of surrender to the 20K idea once we did not break out here. Once that monthly ribbon started to cross back down, it was looking like a rejection here. We had to wave that off. But that was because I thought the bull market would end in October of this year. It's very obvious that the bull market is not going to end next month. It's very obvious that it's not going to. At least in my opinion, it's very obvious. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Things could get erratic and explosive. You never know. But I wouldn't be surprised in the least if this cycle continued for months to come. RSI is going to provide not just a month in the overbought zone and then out. We're going to be overbought for months. Several months. We're going to get the strongest readings on the monthly RSI. We're going to get the strongest readings on the weekly RSI that we've ever seen. Stochastics look fantastic. RSI looks fantastic. The MACD looks fantastic. It's all great. It's all spectacular. The price action looks spectacular. We're going to do some phenomenal things, you guys. Weekly time frame here. Again, also pretty damn bullish. You're getting lower lows in the RSI with higher lows in the price, right? Yeah. Higher lows in the price. Or is that a slightly, that technically is a slightly lower low. Whatever though, still bullish overall. Stochastics look bullish as hell. MACD's bullish as hell. I love it. Love all of it, all right? If we're looking at the 1 hour time frame, here's where things might get a little bit bearish, is on the short and skinny. Looking at this here, you drop down, some significant volume. RSI does look a little bearish here. Stochastics look bullish for a bounce, but the MACD looks like it wants to cross. So overall, I think we go a little bit lower. How much lower are we going to go? Let's see if we can figure that out on the 4 hour time frame, because I'm not too confident on that 1 hour. Let's look at the low to high. Let's do that. Low to high. Yeah. You're going to go 580 to 560. And I think we had it right originally, 575, 565, right? But 580 to 560, that's where I think you're going to go. Probably closer to that 560 area, okay? I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'm truly, I don't know what word to use, man. Excited just seems not enough. I'm very eager to see what happens. I am very, very excited for not just my bags, but for everybody who's in the Bitcoin Cash community, because I know that this is a big part of everybody's portfolio. And you guys, we're going to be validated. We're going to be vindicated. People are going to ask you in the future, how did you know to buy Bitcoin Cash at $500? How did you know, like me, like you, like a lot of you, to buy Bitcoin Cash when it was worth $200 or lower? How did you know that this was this? How are you so smart? We're not smart. We're just not dumb. We don't buy the mainstream narrative. We do our own research and we formulate our own opinions. We don't have other people formulate them for us. Shout out to Tone Vase and Jimmy Song, the people who probably led a lot of people astray whenever it comes. And even people like Carl from the Moon and Crypto Lark and Ivan on Tech and all your big prominent crypto people, right? They don't acknowledge Bitcoin Cash because Bitcoin's their biggest bag, right? They don't acknowledge Bitcoin Cash because they didn't do their own research. But they have to be aware. If they're not aware, again, they're going to feel dumb. I don't know. You're going to feel like, I'm just glad that in this community, the people who don't just take things for granted and are actually doing their research and are aware of things because of that, you're gonna reap the rewards. It's not hard. It's not hard to be aware of which Bitcoin's the better Bitcoin. It's the data is empirical. The evidence is empirical. It's undeniable, undisputable. At this point, the only thing that has to happen now is price action, right? And it's clear. One community is for the tech. One community is for the price action. I'm in it for the price action too. Just, a little spoiler there. But I'm in it. I see the price action growing because of the tech, because of the innovation. And I'm just preaching at this point. I do that all the time with Bitcoin Cash, man. I really do. I've got a hard on for Bitcoin Cash. You guys know it. It's no secret. But I think I'm speaking to the like-minded people. So I'm going to end the video there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Don't be a square. I can't. Don't be a square. Buy Bitcoin Cash. That's not why I got that tattoo. Actually, if you're still here, I'll share with you why I got this tattoo. You want to know why? People ask me why I got this tattoo. What's it mean? It doesn't mean anything. If anything, what it means... Okay, so this is the idea. Ready? So I live in Colorado. And Colorado's a square, right? It's basically a square. I saw a guy with a Texas state outline on his calf. He had like a Texas tattoo, the outline of Texas on his calf. So I'm like, and this is before I had my first tattoo, a lot of people told me, make sure you put a lot of thought into your first tattoo. Put a lot of thought into your first tattoo. And I just had this dumb thought. I was working at my job in retail, and I was working at my job, and I saw this guy's calf tattoo, and I'm like, Colorado's a square. What if I just got a square right there on my arm? And I'm like, that's so dumb. And it made me laugh. I'm like, it's great because everybody told me, put as much thought as you can in a tattoo before you get a tattoo. Make sure it's something you really want. I put zero thought into this at all. It's just a square. It's just a square. It was literally a passing thought, and I love it because it's like, you don't need to put a lot of thought in a tattoo. People think this tattoo looks cooler than it is, man. It's really not that cool. It's just a square, right? Like, people are like, what's it mean? What's the story behind that? It's just a square. What do you mean? You think I put a lot of thought into that? It's just a square. And that's the whole point. You don't need to put a lot of thought into a tattoo. If you want to get a tattoo, just get a freaking tattoo. If you don't want to get a tattoo, don't get a tattoo. This one has a whole different story to it. This, let me get it right on the camera there. That one's got a whole different story to it, but we'll go over that. Maybe whenever I touch it up, I'll go over it because it's pretty faded right now. But we'll go over that one. Some of you probably already know. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. I've got more, but they're on my lower parts, so I'm not going to... That sounded naughty, but I'm not going to show those. Anyways, take care. Bye.